So
system
once
is
we
required
complete
for
the
this.
Python module, this is the
Okay.
first pillar. Python and
So here,
visualization is the first pillar.
sometimes what
Visualization
happens,
is again very, very
some
important
environments, suppose
because
we have some
data
record
science is
files
nothing
that
but
is
finding insights from your data, right? So to find insight and represent those insights
per day
to
they are
your
going
client,
to
you
get
need a lot of
millions,
visualization
billions,
techniques.
trillions
So
of
in
the
this visualization pillar, we will be discussing
operations
two things. One is your Power BI,
data.
which is newly
So
introduced in your syllabus. And we will be
they
discussing about
how they can
Plotly.
use
So
these
what is
artificial
Plotly?
intelligence
Plotly is a
database to
free
check.
package or open source package, Python package.
They need
We
something
will be
like
discussing a lot of
unlimited
graphs
data
like what
because
is scatter plot, what is sunburst chart, what is histogram, where to use what kind of
in the same
plot
way
and why, what is distribution chart, the
performance
grammar
also,
of visualization, right? If you have a data, how, because in the real time, nobody is
right? And
going to tell you, okay, do this chart. No,
unlimited
you
data
have to
storage
decide
is required
what
in the same
chart
way
is
performance
suitable
is also
to
required.
find the
So they
right
cannot use
insight
these
or
environments.
to represent the results in a
Got
correct
my
manner.
point?
So you
So
need to
they are
decide
looking
those
for
charts, right?
cloud,
So you have to understand what chart
Azure
is used
cloud,
for what.
Hadoop,
Then only you can able to do
AWS.
that independently. So in
So
this
we have
particular
different cloud
visualization,
environments.
lot of concept you will
So they are
understand.
looking
So
at
what is the
cloud
difference
environment.
between a histogram and a box plot? Where you will use box plot? Where you will use
Got my
histogram?
point?
All those
So when
concepts
companies
in
are
very detailed
migrating
way we
from
will understand, and
on-premises to
Power
cloud,
BI and Plotly we will discuss.
see
So
based on
once you
requirement
understand
only,
this I say
just
as a
based
first
on
pillar,
requirement
right?
only,
The
they are going to
visualization, Power BI,
migrate
Plotly, Python is the
from
first pillar.
on-premises to cloud.
Along with that, we will also discuss about
Got my
SQL,
point?
right?
So
So
now let us
SQL
see
is
what
something
is
which
the
is
difference
very, very
between
much
on-premises and cloud
demanded, and
environment.
it's like definitely will find some questions in the interview.
For example,
So
you take
SQL
your
is a
laptop.
kind of universal kind of skill like Python, SQL, Power BI, Plotly,
In your
respective of
laptop, you are going
the
to
kind of
install
role, like whether
C++,
you are a data analyst, data engineer, or a data scientist. These all things are common.
right?
So like these are very, very, very highly required skill to become a
After
data scientist.
installation, you are
So
going to
Python,
create database,
visualization,
you are going
Power
to work with
BI,
the
Plotly,
database,
and
but
SQL
where
is
you
the
are going
first
to
pillar
work
of
in
this
your
course.
laptop only, right? That
And
is our local
once we
environment.
complete the first pillar, we will move to the
That
advanced
is our
or
local
the
environment.
backbone, right? And that is
So
nothing but
everything
your
will be there in our local
machine learning
environment
and
only.
starts. So machine learning and starts,
That
we
is
will be discussing
on-premises
very detail
environment.
about maths. Each algorithm will have one project. So once we complete machine learning and
Got my
statistics,
point?
we have 7 to 8 algorithm. We have linear regression, we have
So you
polynomial
are
regression,
only going to
we have
purchase
from
license, hardware, you are
classification,
going for
decision tree, random
installation,
forest,
maintenance also
XGBoost.
you are only going
We
to do.
have K-means clustering.
Because
So all of
everything
this
is there in our
algorithm,
local
one
environment only,
project
right?
once we complete, then we will
Maintenance
move to
also
the
you are only
third
going
pillar.
to do.
That is the advanced pillar, right? The advanced pillar we will be discussing about
When
deep
it
learning
comes to
and
cloud,
NLP. So this is not
pay as
complete.
you go,
Deep learning NLP itself will take 3 to 4 months to get
right?
expert in that.
For
Even though you
example,
have like spent 3 to 4 months, you
there is
might
some
not be
cloud
expert, like because it's a
provider,
very
Azure,
kind of
Microsoft,
lot of topics are there, and it will
right?
take
And
years of time to call yourself an expert. But what we will discuss is whatever is needed
so
for
you need
interview, we
something,
will be
some ETL
completing
tool is
those
required,
modules
some database
from
is
deep learning
required.
and
Yes,
NLP.
you are going to
ML and
discuss with them.
statistics, we will go very in
See, I
depth.
need these things.
Python,
Can
visualization,
you provide?
SQL,
Yeah,
ML, and
they can
statistics will
provide.
go very in depth. Deep
So you
learning
are
and
not going
NLP
to
also we
maintain
will
anything in
discuss.
our local
Uh,
environment.
but
They are
it
going
is
to give you
kind of
account.
deep learning will
And in
discuss
that
about
account, they are going
artificial neural
to
network,
provide
and
everything
NLP we will
as per
discuss
your
about
requirement,
lot of concepts
right?
like what is web
And you are
embedding
going to
techniques,
work with
right?
them.
What is if the data is text
So
data,
after
how to
finishing your
analyze
work, you
those
just
data,
submit
that you
and
will understand. So in
done.
this entire syllabus, there
They
are
are
three
only going to
pillars. First
maintain.
is your Python visualization and SQL pillar.
So here,
Second is
these
your ML and
cloud
statistics pillar, and
environments,
the third one is your deep learning and NLP pillar. So how are we are going to structure this, right? So every day we will have
we
class.
can provide
So the
storage,
timing will be 1 hour.
terabytes,
1 hour
unlimited
we will
storage.
connect, right? Every day we will connect
In the
for
same way,
one
they
hour.
can provide
And
security, they
before
can
I
provide
connect, so
performance.
exactly at whenever the class is starting, so what we will do is first, or maybe at the end of the class, there will be a 10-minute quiz.
That's what client
I had
requires.
given a lot of assignment because like
So
I
now
have
that
seen
is the
that from my
difference
past
between
previous batch
on-premises
experience. So people
environment
are
and
not
cloud
doing
environment,
any assignment, just
right?
I'm giving them and they're not even
On-premises
opening
and
it.
cloud
So what
environment.
we will do is 10 minutes quick revision we will do every day, because that's really
So
helps
now,
you. We all are working. So
see,
10
not
minutes we
only
will revise
SSIS,
the concepts.
coming to
How? By
on-premises
coding, not
ETL
by
tools,
just listening. So it's an
not only
interview
SSIS,
preparation.
SSIS
So
is
this
from
10-minute
Microsoft
every day
company.
we will give, right? So the questions, when it is a pillar one, it is all coding, right? So in pillar one, there is no theory. So in pillar one, Python, Power BI, SQL, Plotly, I will be giving you coding questions that I have collected from Lit Code. So you have to kind of do small. If it is a lengthy code, instead of you doing it, I will be explaining it because it will take time. But 10 minutes we will give to interview preparation. But when we come to ML and stats, some of the theoretical question also we will discuss, right? For example, what is bias, what is variance, what is bias variance trade-offs, like that. A lot of interview questions every day, 10 minutes or 15 minutes, maybe at the end of the class, so that we can extend, right? It's like, let's say 55 minutes we have discussed and last 15 minutes. So 1 hour, 10 minutes we can extend the class. And then those 10 to 15 minutes time we will divide into interview preparation. So interview preparation, previously I was giving questions, but from your batch onwards, I decided to do it in the class every day, right? So you will not, you will not be pressurized that, okay, interview preparation I have to do separately. It will go parallelly every day, 15 minutes. The topic, whatever we have discussed, from that topic, what kind of questions you can get in interview. For example, today I have discussed linear regression. So, okay, so what are the assumption of linear regression? What is gradient descent? So some of the concepts which you may get in the interview, we will discuss. Okay? So this is the kind of way. Along with that, it's a very project-based learning. So you will be getting around 10 to 12 projects. 10 to 12 projects.
Now you can ask some questions.
So 10 to 12 projects in this entire, from the three pillars. Most of the project will be from machine learning, deep learning, and NLP side, right? So you will be able to do it, code it yourself. One project I will give you in the class. Sorry, I will tell you in the class, and one project will be your assignment, which you will do. So project you cannot do in 15 minutes. So that is an assignment. 15 minutes is only for interview discussion. So I have some 40 to 50 questions, which I will divide every day 15 minutes. And I will explain those questions and we will discuss, right? Along with the 1 hour class. So you can consider the classes will be 1 hour, 15 minutes like that, right? After we discuss 55 minutes, last 10, 15 minutes, we will dedicate to interview preparation. And along with that, you will also get the recorded sessions from Durga sir. So it's almost like 170 hours of video you will get. So like this Python, so this entire journey, right? This Python part is covered by Durga sir. So if you, so what I am doing is whatever is very important that I am covering from the Python module, but other topics like OOPS concept, at least the decorators, generator. If you really want to be expert in Python, right? So you can go to Durga sir's video, right? But see, Python itself is vast. If I teach you Python, it will go for 3 months. And it's not necessary, right? Because we are not Python developers, we are data scientists. So we will learn Python for data science. Python is a widely used language. It has a lot of modules. So it can be useful for everyone, like the web developers can use Python to develop websites. We are here to use Python for data analysis, right? So I'm not saying it is not important or not needed, but it is not so important, right? So the OOPS concept and other concept later you can learn once you're expert in the mandatory skills. So that is good to know, but that is not mandatory skills for a data scientist, because there will be a separate team. One team cannot be expert in everything. Your core area is ML and stats and deep learning. Your core area is not object-oriented programming and all that. So there will be a DevOps team, there will be a software engineering team who are very expert in those, and they will be building the apps, right? They are the front, they will be building the front end part. So there are data engineers who are very expert in all of those. So they will be handling. So as a data scientist, your core area is machine learning. Modeling is your core area. So machine learning, deep learning, how to deploy those models. You have a lot of topics to learn. So you have to be very wise to select what to learn and what to let go, so that later you can, like if it is required, you can learn, right? So so this is the kind of summarized way what this entire course will be. And if you have any questions, you can type in the window and I will take it from there. My main intention is to give you very difficult concept in a simplified manner. So machine learning and deep learning is difficult. It's full of maths, lot of algorithms, lot of things we need to understand in a very deep way, and also we need to implement it And one more
And this
thing, the
is
advantage is whatever I have learned,
Azure
right? I
data
have
warehouse. So
changed
Azure
4 to 5
data warehouse
companies
means
in
generally
last
Azure SQL
5 to 6 years. I have
So this is
seen many data scientists. I have
ADF
seen what is
environment.
happening in the industry. So I'll give you those screen. And also I have seen many of my students going through
Like
interview process and sharing their feedback with me. I myself has attended many interviews. So I will summarize all my kind of learning
so
and
we are
give
going
it
to
to you so that
extract
it
data
will
from
help you
different
to clear
data sources.
interviews.
Sometimes on-premises
So,
data sources like
for
Microsoft
example, there are a
SQL
lot of
Server,
things that we can discuss. Which
Microsoft
topic is
SQL Server.
important, which topic you can skip,
Sometimes
because it's
cloud,
all
Google
about
Analytics,
timing and
how to big
prioritizing,
data.
right? Because you have a lot of things to learn.
So,
If you
but
start learning
anyhow, we
everything,
are
that's
going
not a
to
wise way. Your
extract
data science
data
syllabus
into
will
local
never complete.
storage.
So
Data
if you
like
start
Azure
learning,
data
many of you
warehouse.
must have tried it, right? Like you thought initially you will
See, this is
learn
blob,
yourself.
BLOB storage.
Then what you have done is you have searched pandas in YouTube and you
In this,
found,
you
like
can
let's say,
store
100
structured
videos.
data,
So you
semi-structured
just
data,
in pandas you
unstructured
have
data.
spent 1 month of time watching lot of videos. Still you're
Structured
not
data means
confident whether
databases,
this is
tables.
completed or not, like whether a lot of other topics I'm skipping, or
Semi-structured data means
no, I
files.
mean I'm ready for interview, you're
Files.
not sure. So you need really someone who can tell you this
Unstructured
much is
data
enough.
means
If you
photos,
clear
audios,
till this
videos,
level,
images.
100% sure you can clear everything in the interview. Then move to the next topic. Don't
Right?
spend 2 3 months in Python, 5 6 months in Python learning.
So
In that way, if you
any
learn, then
type
the
of
syllabus will be
data
3 4 years. You will not be
can
able
be
to
stored in
complete.
this data
I'll
lake.
give you an example. Somebody has learned Power BI, then they will think, okay,
That
Tableau
is
is
the
also
advantage
important.
of
Should I
working
learn
with the
Tableau
data
or
lake.
skip Tableau? Okay, Plotly I have learned, Matplotlib, Seaborn is there. Should
Right?
I learn that or
So
skip that? Okay,
what
all
is
of these
this
things I
data
have
lake?
learned. SQL I have learned.
This is
MongoDB is there.
storage.
NoSQL is
Azure
there.
cloud
Then core
storage.
Python, OOPS concepts are there, right? In
You're
ML,
going to
there are
work with
7 8
ADF only, but you
algorithms, there
should
are
know
20
OOP
30
storage.
algorithms.
How
In
it
deep
works.
learning, what should I
How the
learn?
files are going
TensorFlow
to
I
store.
know,
How
but
the tables
PyCaret,
are going to
sorry,
store in
PyTorch
this
should I learn or
environment.
not? So all of this kind of
How to
confusion
create
will be there
storage
whenever you
accounts.
start this data science course to learn yourself, because lot of very vast, and for each and every topic there are
That
hundreds of
means
resources
Azure
available.
data lake
So the
related
course will save your
scenarios we
time.
are going
So it
to
will give you
practice.
correct direction. It's not like I'm teaching something new.
Azure data
I'm not
warehouse means
discovering any new
Azure
algorithm. Whatever
SQL
is
Server,
there, I
Cloud
will just
SQL.
present it in a nice, organized manner.
If you don't know
But
Cloud
what
SQL,
you benefit you
then
will
how
get,
can you work
your
with Azure
journey,
data
which
warehouse? You cannot
maybe
work.
2 3
Forget
years,
about
if you
ADF.
complete by yourself, will
Right?
be reduced to two three
Got my point?
months, right? So a lot of time you will save because you know what
Azure
to
data
learn, how
warehouse is
much to learn,
Azure SQL
so
only.
that you are interview ready, right? And that I will give
If
you
you don't
from
know
my
Azure
own
SQL, then how can
experience.
you
Okay,
work
this
with
much is good for a 3 year
this
experience data
environment? You
science.
cannot.
So stop this topic here. Don't learn
You
that
cannot
topic
work.
now.
So
Learn next
what
will
I'm
be this
trying to
topic.
explain
So the
we
path you
are
will
going
get, the
to work
direction
with
you will get. That's
data
why
lake
you should
storage
enroll for this
related
course.
scenarios,
So that in this two,
even
3 months of
Azure
time,
SQL related
you will
scenarios.
be
We
very,
are
very
going to
much
work
expert, at least very
clear.
confident. Before you go to
Then we
interview,
are
very
going to use
confident, right?
ADF. What is the
So all the
purpose of
topics that
ADF?
they're asking, you cannot match 100%, right? Data science,
Transferring
JD,
data from different
even
data
if
sources
you
to
check my skill set,
data
still it
warehouse
will not match
destinations
100%. But if it is matching
by
70 to
using
80%, you're a very good fit,
transformations.
right? So all those tips and techniques we will discuss in the class.
Got it?
The
And
flow of the course, right? How the flow will be. First, we
this
will
is
be
what the
discussing
thing
about
we are going to.
Power
That
BI
means
and SQL.
I'm
These are
giving
the
you clarity more what
prerequisites,
we are
or
going to discuss
basically
in this
some
training.
topics which are needed before we start the main topics. We will discuss
Okay.
about
So
SQL
along
first,
with
right?
them,
Many of you
we
already
have
know,
to
but I'm not going to
work
teach
with
you SQL for months and months. As I
something
said,
like
my major focus will be on ML,
SQL
statistics,
queries
deep
for
learning, and NLP. That is the
required
core.
for us
And the first pillar. So if you want to divide
in the same
the
way.
first pillar,
Some of data
I will
warehouse
be
concepts
kind
we
of
are going
giving
to work.
20 to 30% of the time to the first pillar, right? Let's say
Right? And
whatever is the total time, 30% will be given to the first pillar, and 70% of the time, right? 50% will be
so
given,
now coming
50,
to
40
next
to
scenario.
50% will be given to the second pillar, and rest will be the third pillar.
Here,
So even in the third pillar, topics are less. It is very complex topics. So I need a lot of time to explain it to you, right? It's not about topic, it's about what you are learning. Depends on that, the time we will divide and importance of it. So like you can understand, like 80 70 to 80% of the time, total time will be dedicating to the major topics, and 20 to 30% we will dedicate to the first pillar. And I'm going to teach you whatever is necessary for cracking interviews for SQL. Not We are not SQL developer, we are not Python developer, so you're not going to learn everything from scratch till end, but whatever is important for interview, we will discuss that. Right? So this is the kind of summarized way of what we are going to discuss in this particular course, right? So the timing, the duration of the course, it will be every day 1 hour 15 minutes around that. So 15 minutes will be quiz, uh, mostly at the end of the session, because in the initial, like if we start, let's start fresh, and once the class is over, we will have a 10-15 minutes quiz, a kind of interview preparation, and then uh, like we will discuss the solutions also. Mostly if it is a question theoretical, I will be explaining. And initial, so we will start the batch maybe after 2 or 3 demos. From this Thursday onwards, the batch will be starting. Tomorrow and day after tomorrow, we will have a small use case I will discuss with you, like machine learning use case, and other things like which is important, right? Before you join, enroll for this course, like other resources where you can learn from, prerequisites, all of those things we will complete. So Thursday onwards, we will start the batch. The timing of the batch will be notified, like mostly you will get an email, and also you will get the course content along with that. Along with the timings and other details, you will also get the course content, right? Timing, I have two preferences. One is 7 to 8 a.m. IST. And so if this is not suitable, maybe we can connect from 9 p.m. to 10 p.m. I will prefer this 9 p.m. to 10 p.m. Why? Because most of you, I found the schools are open, school offices are open. So morning time, it might not be, you might not be available this time, right? So we will be sticking to 9 p.m. to 10 p.m. every day. It will be Monday to Friday, we will have class. Monday to Friday, we will have 9 p.m. to 10 p.m. class. Classes will be mostly 1 hour 10 minutes, 1 hour 15 minutes, like that. And we'll continue this for 2.5 months. And the initial half months, we will connect, like let's say 30 minutes, 40 minutes. Why? Because it's a course creation time. So we will have a batch, right? We'll be forming a batch. So we will go slow. We'll not rush in the first class only, because many of you will be new to the course, and like we will go slow. Initial 15 days, 2 months complete. Like once you
Okay, okay.
are little familiar with the concepts
We'll
and
start
installed
the demo
everything, and you
sessions.
know
Okay.
the
So
basics,
this week
will
completely
go
we'll for
full
the
phase
demo
mode,
sessions.
right?
Okay. So
So
in this
that's the
demo
kind of
session,
division and
this demo
everything. So
sessions is
if
a
you
small
have any
it is a
questions
part
or
of the
something, feel free to
process
ask
of
me.
the API
Also, you can
testimonial.
find me in
So
LinkedIn.
here I'm going to
If you want to know more
show
about me, my
exclusively
experience and all, you
try
can
to
go to LinkedIn
start
and
with
check.
the API
You
testimonial.
can type
So
Sasmitha
here
Data
I've
Science,
provided
you will find me.
all the details
Any
about the
questions so far?
methods and JSON
We are all good.
language. All these things we'll be learning in this demo sessions. Okay.
And you can find lot of videos in YouTube where I have explained what is data science, what is data engineer, what is the difference between data science
So
and data
just let me
engineer,
know
what is the
if
salary
my
expectation,
voice is
what are the data science applications,
low,
what is
if you're
artificial
not able to
intelligence, what is
hear my
machine learning,
voice.
what is the
So just
difference
let me
between
know.
them,
Okay.
right? So all of those concepts you will see
So
very
now,
clearly explained
as a
in the
part of
YouTube
the
videos,
API
right?
testing,
So
okay. So
any
we are
questions
learning
so far? We are all good.
smart URL. Okay. So like
Okay, so I'm
just
taking some questions from
what is defined
the chat
in the
window.
what are the things we need to know.
Um,
All these things we have to be very clear because
can I
the
attach some
URL is the
experience
what
to
we are
fill
working with.
3 years of
Okay.
gap? How
So
much of
API
it
testing is nothing but
recommend to?
so it
Okay,
will be provided
so
depends on the for you.
I
So
really
those
don't
who are
know your
not
background,
visible
like
here,
how many
so
total
you will
years
be
of experience you have and
in the
what domain you're
what
currently
like the
working on,
demo.
what is your
First I
background.
will
But
speak.
I'm just answering this
Fine.
universally, right? So this
So we'll
course
start
will give
the
you a
demo sessions.
knowledge
Okay.
of
So this week
a data
completely we'll
scientist
dedicate it for
who
the demo
who has
sessions.
worked
Okay.
in
So
industry
in this
like
demo
2 to 3 years.
sessions,
Till that
like
level, this
demo
course will
sessions is
give you.
also very important
Now,
for
there are a lot of
for
ways
me.
you
Okay. As a
can
part of the API
kind of
testing
show
journey.
this experience
So
into
here
your
I'm going
CV.
to
Let's say, try to first
start
switch
with
internally if there are any
where to
scopes.
start
If
the
you're
API testing.
applying for
Okay.
external
So like what is
companies, so
URL?
you have to kind of show them
What
some
SQL
experience.
HTTP
As a
methods and
fresher, it is
JSON
difficult that your
language.
CV will be
All these things
shortlisted.
we'll be learning in
So
this
you
demo
have to show some
sessions.
experience now. You don't have experience, how to show those
So
experience. You have done all of those 10 to 12
so just
projects. You know your domain. So
hold. Okay.
you can actually
So
smartly
just
you
let
can
me know
modify these
if
projects into your
my
domain
voice is
projects. How to do that?
clear
When you
or
enroll for
low.
this course,
I'm
there
sure
is a
not able to
special class
hear my
dedicated
voice.
at the end of the
Let me know.
session. So
Okay.
all course, when it is completed, the last class is
So now
CV preparation.
as
two
a
to three
part of
hours
the
only on
API
that I will
testing.
spend.
Okay.
One weekend we will
We are
connect.
learning
2 hours I will show you some
okay
demos. Three to
like
four
what is
CV
backend,
template I will show you.
how it
And then I will tell you from different domain I have
whatever
collected those
things they
templates.
need
Like
to
one
do,
is from
all
healthcare,
this
one is from
to be very clear,
your
because
industry, one is from
usually
investment
what
banks.
we are
So you will
working
get an
on
idea how people
training
should write
testing
their
that
CV, right?
it will be
And all
provided
of
as
those
such for
projects, how
us.
you can
Okay,
change it to
whatever
your
the
domain
URL
projects.
you are seeing
And if you
here.
have any queries, you can ask in that class.
So
I
that
will
is the
guide you.
URL
So
from the
my
developers.
answer is
Okay,
yes. So
they will send you
irrespective
the
of your,
URL and they will give
I
you,
don't know from
they will
which
give you
background you
basic
belong to, but
authentication if you need
this
to put
course
it
will
on
give you that
before
much
working with
knowledge
that
of
API.
a 3-year
They will
experienced
give
data
you
scientist,
all the
right?
details in the document, that
So
this is the URL
computer
and this is the
vision
parameter,
OpenCV.
this
So
is the
computer
endpoint.
vision
You
OpenCV
have to
itself
put
is a
this
huge
endpoint,
domain.
then you will
And
get the
honestly
response back.
speaking, we are just
Okay, so
understanding the
all these things
introductory
will be
part of it.
defined
It's
in the document
many of the
that you need to
institutes, even you go
be
and check their syllabus, they
okay.
will not tell you, they will tell we are completing
What we
deep
will
learning,
do
we are
means
completing
we are
NLP. No,
starting from the scratch in
actually
this
that's
course,
not true.
and
So they are
very
not
slowly,
completing, they're just giving
because
introductory. And we
the
are very
people who
honest
doesn't know
in
huge
that. So
knowledge
it's
and
not
want
a
to do it
complete thing.
just
So
for learn
computer
it
vision
from
itself will
Python,
take two and
the
a half
people
months to
having
three
some
months
knowledge,
minimum.
all of
It's
them
a very
will
specialized
came
course.
in a single course.
Many
Okay,
freshers
the
will not
part
get this
starting
role
from very
because it's a specialized course.
URL,
So
this
somebody who
kind
is
of kind of
working as a
very
data
basic
scientist
concept,
or someone who
but
has a
we
master's degree
have
with the
to
relevant field
very fully
may get
careful
computer
and
vision. Or
discuss each
in
and
your
every
company, if there are
parameter.
some
Okay,
scopes, then you're lucky, so you can kind
you
of
got the
join.
URL.
So data
After your
science freshers
joining,
can also
you
join,
need
but
one
computer vision
resource
is a very
application.
specialized
Okay,
branch.
so you need
It
to
needs a lot of
define
expertise. It needs
specific web
Python and Java,
resources
other
in C++.
languages, very, very expert
Okay,
level. It
so
needs
remember what
deep
we are
learning at
saying.
expert
If
level,
you
image
want to
processing
have
at
a
expert
specific
level.
web
So a lot of
resource
specialized
inside the web
thing you should
application.
know.
Okay,
So this is a
what
completely
is this
separate,
resource? What is web
like
resource?
as I said, 2 to 3 months is needed.
What you guys
So
think?
this in
What is
this
web
course we are
resource
going to understand about the introductory
inside
part
the
of
web application?
deep learning, and we are not going to complete the computer vision part. Right? I hope I answer your question. So computer vision is
Mm,
just we are introductory part we are understanding. We are not completing it.
Page
It's very vast.
10,
What is the duration of the course? The duration of the course you can say around 2 to 2.5 months, right? The projects will be end to end with deployment. Yes, so I sorry, one I forgot.
okay, thank you.
So I forgot one thing.
See,
So
the
yes, the
example you
major
will take
part,
this in the document.
is there is one
So
more
what I'm
pillar which
saying
is
is you need
again
to
new
identify
and
specific
introduced
web
in your
resource
batch, that is
inside the web
cloud
application.
deployment.
Okay,
This
so
is the
with that,
fourth pillar. Sorry, I forgot about it. So
I
yes,
just
it is
consider
there. So we are
the
going to use
web
AWS
application.
and all of these things,
This is the
whatever
web
we have
application.
discussed, ML and deep learning, all the projects.
So
It's not
inside
possible
this
for
web
me to implement 10 to
application,
12 projects, but 3 to 4 projects, how to deploy in
we
AWS.
have our
We're going to
different
see. So
different
it is
resources.
end to end,
Okay, so
starting
what are
from
these
very
resources?
scratch like SQL to Power
This
BI
is
to
one
Python to
resource.
ML and statistics, deep learning, NLP
Okay,
to
this is
deploying in
maybe
cloud in
home
AWS.
resource.
So it
Okay,
is an end to
and this
end
is
thing.
main resource.
One more question I will answer, how I'm
This is
able to
maybe
cover
backup
all of these
resource.
things in this
And
two and
this
a half
is one
months with
resource.
in depth. Two and a
This
half
is
months I'm
maybe
not
a
touching surface. I don't believe in touching surface. So whatever we are
information.
not covering, we are not covering, we are
Just
skipping. I will
different
tell you
different
this is
things.
introductory, like
So
how
maybe
I'm
this
telling
is
for
a
advanced. But
okay
whatever we
home
are covering,
resource,
this is a tick for you.
and this is
So there is
maybe a
nothing beyond it. For
context
example, linear
resource.
regression I have covered. So it is a tick for
Okay,
you. So there
and
is
this is
nothing
maybe
beyond linear regression. I will tell you, don't waste your time looking any other video
and this is
except
maybe
this
a
class
search
video for
resource,
this
if you
topic.
want search
But
resource.
let's say some other topic
So
which we have
basically
not covered, I will tell you
different
what
different
next. I'll show
features,
you the path.
different
Okay,
different
these are the things. If you want
elements
to upgrade
inside the web
yourself, maybe these
application
things you
is
can learn
getting
as a
defined.
next step.
So
And these are the
this is the
resources.
search
So
resource.
those way I can help you.
So you need to
And
identify specific web
so yes,
resource.
so the answer is yes,
Once you
cloud
identify that
deployment.
this is a web
We will
application,
be
so
talking, and
in this
how to
web
deploy in cloud.
application
We
we
will
are
be
having
discussing that.
different
So it's an end to end.
resources.
The course is very organized. It says experience matters.
Okay,
So as I
so
have
after
completed
identifying
45 to 50 batches,
this
so the
example,
flow is already
it is
set.
going to
So
be
we know
delivered in the
what to
prompt,
deliver, and
and
within
in this
1 hour, lot of
in this
things we will be
open.com we
discussing.
have a
So that
different
1 hour,
different
15
resources.
minutes will be
So
completely utilized.
example,
So
someone
like
is
one thing I can
if
say
you need
is,
to
if you are
search anything
organized, many things, like
while
when you go for a
running and asking
company presentation,
questions.
within 1 hour you present your 1 year task, right? Whatever you have done, just by
Finished, right?
showing
So
PPTs, you're making the client understand, a new person understand what you have done. So it's all about preparation, experience, and deliver, like what you are actually
so
delivering. The
this is the
content
different
matters,
different
how you
resources.
are presenting
Okay,
matters.
so in this
Some people will
resources
explain the same concept for
we
5 hours, still you will not be clear because they themselves are not clear.
how it is helpful.
Some people will explain you very difficult concept in 1 hour. and which is very clear to you. Having said that, it's not all about me, it's also about you. So you should also understand your background, where you are belonging to. If you think that you are you need some extra pre-preparation, let me know. I can share you previous batch videos in advance. So what you can do is those previous batch videos you can go through before you come into the class, so that it will give you lot of things in advance. You will prepare and come. But honestly, you don't need any extra preparation. Just attend the class, complete the assignments, and you are all done. If you are not able to understand, those kind of facilities are also there where we will provide you previous batch recordings so that you can see those and you can come to your class. So this batch is going to be the new batch or the first batch for the new syllabus. A lot of things has been added. So Plotly has been added, sorry, SQL, Power BI and Cloud, AWS has been added. So it's a end to end. And I will also tell you, because in my current organization, it's a IoT based company where we have lot of sensor data we collected. So I'm so lucky. I will consider myself very lucky because I'm able to see the ML ops, like machine learning operation part, right? As a team, we coordinate between data engineer and data science, and as everything is our own, like the data is like the data from where we are collecting, the products are our own products. So end to end, I am able to see, starting from data collection, the sensors, like machinery data collecting from using sensors to deploying in AWS. Entire flow I have seen in my company. So those knowledge, whatever I have learned, along with the theoretical knowledge and the coding thing, I will summarize and give it to you. So this is the kind of complete end-to-end thing you can see, right? So yes, we will receive video recordings of these classes. Yes, video recording only. If you want, you can go through the video recording of these classes. But this is a new batch, so like everyday class video recording will be uploaded. Previous batch class also you can see. Uh, Cloud will not be there in previous batch, but rest all will be there. Right? Okay, so for cloud recording, you have to wait because this batch cloud recording will be uploaded. Rest all recordings you can take, right? So recording, if you're only purchasing, it is, you can check with the price with Good Durga songs, right? You can go for only recording also. PySpark, PySpark again, I don't want to mix up many things. It's not possible to cover during this thing. I'm going to start a separate batch, ML Ops, or basically data engineering, big data analytics batch. Please join that. That's a completely different track. I don't want to touch surface, so I don't want to include a lot of topics, right? I just want to include the cream topics which will help you to clear interviews. Those cream topics will go in detail, in depth. That is the secret to crack interviews, right? Having said that, I'm not saying PySpark is not important. Why I have not included? Because that's a separate track. Again, that will take 2 to 3 months. We're going to cover that in the big data analytics, data engineering ML ops batch, which we are going to start very soon. Maybe you can see email notification end of this month. After 15-20 days, that batch will be starting. So if you really want to expertise yourself in Apache Airflow, the cloud techniques in depth, and then Apache Spark, all of those kind of things, please join the Big Data Analytics batch. Yes, one more thing is PySpark recording will be shared. I forgot that from previous batch. I will share the PySpark recordings of 8 to 9 hours, right? But it will not be live class. Recording will be shared in Drive. Everything will be on your Drive, so you can check, and it will remain with you for one month. Oh, sorry, 1 year. Right? So I have answered all the queries from the window. So the timing of the class will be 7 to 8.
This is one URL. Whatever the thing I'm launching here, this is one URL. Okay. So this character, what they're entering here, it should be a maximum 200 only. Okay. If it is a 201 also, it will not work. The maximum character allowed is lost is 200 only. Okay. This is what they're specifying. Okay. So next. So the syntax for the web URL. Okay. What is the syntax for the web URL is? It should contain protocol. It starts with a protocol. Okay. This protocol is nothing but address. Okay. So it should contain the protocol, and following the protocol domain name, Okay, and after that, if it's required, port number and resource path, query string, and fragment ID. Okay, so these are all the things. It's very important. Domain name, port number, resource path, query string, fragment ID. Okay, so this is the syntax of the web URL. Okay, so here also that is what they are specified. Here they're giving a protocol and then domain name and port number and resource. Okay, so here is also like protocol, domain name and resource. This is somewhat query string. These are all the things I will be telling you later. Okay, so this is we call it as a query string, something extra information about the resource. Okay, and here, so instead of domain name they are specifying IP address. This I will tell you guys, okay, later. And here resource, and this is the query string. Okay, so this is the sample example for the web URL. And observe here, it should follow the syntax of this general syntax. Whatever the URL we are defining here, so it should follow the syntax of this. Okay, the syntax, following this syntax is must. It will not work if you domain name, if you are mentioning at the end, and if you are mentioning the resource in the first, okay, it will not work. After the protocol, it must be a domain name only. After the domain name, then if you want to define means it's protocol. What is this? Sorry. If you want to define the port number means you have to define it here only. Then you have to define it resource. Okay, if you make it, here and there means it will not work. Means instead of domain name specifying resource path, and after this domain name will specifying in the place of resource path. If you do that means it will not work. Okay, so this is the syntax. It should follow like this only, one by one. Okay, so in the syntax there are many things which is not a mandatory things. Okay, the one is the port number is not a mandatory. That is something like a extra information. Okay, so whether you can specify or you not specify, it will work. The URL will work. Okay, this is the optional thing. Okay, yes, see, observe here. Okay, HTTP localhost I am specified port number and then resource. Okay, you can specify or else you can also remove it. It will work. Okay, so this is a optional port number. Okay, and one more thing, fragment ID is also optional. Okay, but the domain name, this query string is also like optional. If we want to provide extra information, then we have to give. Okay, so domain name and all is a mandatory. Protocol, domain name, resource path is a mandatory parameters in the URL. Okay, in interview they may ask you what are the mandatory parameter. Okay, so you can tell that yes, protocol we have to specify because we need to give a idea that which protocol we are going to use. We have to give idea to the services. Okay, then domain name is must and resource path is must. Okay, you have to specify that. And they may ask you what is the optional parameter, whether we can enter that, whether we are not entering that, the function will work. So which is that parameter? If they ask you, yes, port number is a optional parameter and fragment ID is also optional parameter. So these are the some parameters which we consider as a optional. Okay, so this is what your response. Okay, okay, clear? Any doubt till now? Okay, okay. So now what we will do, okay, to understand how the URL is working, how to understand each and everything. Okay, I mean to say how the parameters we can understand. Okay, to understand that, we will first start with a general example. Okay, so let's try to understand the web URL with a general example. Okay, listen carefully. You have to answer now. Okay, so okay. Consider this as a street. Okay, so consider this as a street. Inside the street, you have a different apartment like this. Okay, you have a different apartment. So inside the apartment, you have a so apartment have a apartment name as well as apartment ID. Okay, so apartment have a apartment name as well as ID. This is the apartment name. Hmm. This is the apartment name and this is the apartment ID. Okay, so inside the apartment also we have a different flats. See, this is a flat one, this is a flat two. Okay, and in this apartment too also we have a flat one, flat two, flat three. Here we have a flat one, flat two, flat three, flat four. Okay, so like this we have a different flats. Okay, so now what I have to do, I want to write a single line address for this. Okay, so what I had to do, in we had to go for the apartment one and we have to go for the flat number 2 and we have to identify the person who is present in the flat number 2. Okay, so how my control has to go, first my control has to reach to the street, then after reaching the street it has to go for the apartment 1, and then after the control is going to the apartment 1, then the control has to go for the flat number 2, then the control is going to the flat number 2, it has to identify the P2 person. This person it has to identify. Okay, how to write the single line address for that? See here, observe here, address, you can write it as a street also. Okay, first it is reaching here. Okay, this is reaching here like a address. Then it is specifying the apartment 1. Okay, so you can specify apartment 1 or else you can also specify apartment ID 1 to 1. Okay, so here I'm specified as apartment 1. Then I'm reaching for the flat 2. Okay, this is the flat 2 is I'm specified here. Then after reaching to the flat 2, I'm identifying the P2 person. Okay, so this is how I'm writing the single line address. Okay, so now tell me, okay, everyone has to interact now. Okay, so either through the